How's everybody doing today? Okay, today is October 31st, 2023. It's Halloween. And this is the regular meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Here.
Richard Valley is absent. Doug Verboon.
Here.
Rusty Robinson.
Here.
Richard Fagundes.
Here. Okay, all four members are present. We have one absent today. And we'll turn it over now to Pastor Arthur Fox from the New Hope Orthodox Presbyterian Church. Good morning.
Good morning. As we like to say in my church, Happy Reformation Day. I'm going to read from the book of Romans, beginning at chapter 3, verse 21. But now, apart from the law, the righteousness of God is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets, even the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ for all those who believe, for there is no distinction. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, being justified as a gift by his grace through the redemption which is in Christ Jesus, whom God displayed publicly as a propitiation, as a payment, in his blood through faith. This was to demonstrate his righteousness, because in the forbearance of God, he passed over the sins previously committed. For the demonstration, I say, of his righteousness at the present time, so that he would be just and the justifier of those who have faith in Jesus. Whereas boasting is excluded. By what kind of law? Of works? No, but by the law of faith. For we maintain that a man is justified by faith apart from works of the law. Most important truth in Scripture, it's not what we do, it's what God has done in Christ. Let's pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for the mercy you've shown in sending your Son to die for sinners. And we thank you, O God, for the mercy of another day to serve you. And we pray for these difficult days in our country where so much has changed and so much is changing, where so many are opposed to the things that are righteous and so many are selfish. We pray to take the selfishness out of our hearts and make us Christ-centered. We pray for these faithful who serve as on the Board of Supervisors and their staff, that you would bless them, bless their deliberations today. Help them, O Lord, to make righteous decisions, and grant that all of us might trust in Christ. Grant your blessing, we pray, on this work. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor. You follow me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll turn now to our county service awards. Carolyn Least. Thanks, Supervisor Neves will do the presentation. Morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
How are you? Happy Halloween.
Trevor's not here. I'm happy Halloween. I feel like it was yesterday. We had so much fun yesterday, so.
Is that microphone on?
Is it
Catherine?
on?
It is.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? How about if I go like this? Maybe I need to bring it. There you go. A little bit taller than I expected here. Human Resource Director Carolyn Least, here today to present the County Service Awards presentation. There have been a service awards program since 1977 to recognize full-time employment service of county employees. Service awards are presented to employees after the equivalent of 5 years of continuous full-time service and in increments of 5 years after that. At the end of each fiscal year, Human Resources identifies those employees who became eligible to receive service awards during the previous fiscal year. Each eligible recipient receives a certificate indicating the number of years of service that have been completed. Each awardee 10 years and over is also permitted to select an award to which they are entitled based on years of service completed. Awards are provided in the form of either a cash benefit or a memento based on the years of qualifying service. The notices have been sent out and people are now selecting their awards, so they should have them by mid-November, as well as by then we will be issuing the cash payments to those people who chose that option. Today, employees from the following departments will be recognized. We have behavioral health, human resources, information technology, probation, public guardian, and public works. Therefore, we recommend that you acknowledge employees that have completed various milestones of county service. We will present by department. I will read everyone's name from each department, even if we do not expect the awardee to be here. Awardees, when your name is read, please come forward to receive your certificate and have a picture taken. We would appreciate after accepting your certificate if you would wait in the well at the front of the board until all individuals from your department have received their award. And we're going to begin with behavioral health. All right, so for 5 years, we have Jeanette Barajas. Yep, there's a few more. So the next one is 5 years, Lisa Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her department, isn't it?
Also for 5 years, we have Anna Lopez Solorio. All right, for 10 years, we have Khadijah Kennedy. And then also for 10 years, we have Renee Roselius.
Way outside.
Thank you.
Do we want to get a group one? And Christy, do you want to come up?
Hi, yeah, come on back. Yeah. Photo up, photo up.
About that.
All right.
Available in the lobby.
The next department is Human Resources. We have 10 years, Melissa Avalos. Okay, for 25 years, we have Michelle Campbell. Michelle, do you want to come on up?
You start when you were 10?
All right, so I'm going to say a couple of things before they sit down. So Michelle has 25 and a half years with the county. She started on April 6, 1998 as an office assistant with probation department. From her first evaluation, it is highlighted that Michelle demonstrates superior skills when it comes to her ability to be tactful and professional when dealing with the public. Her supervisor stated that she recognized the importance of maintaining a professional attitude and makes an effort for involved parties to be satisfied or at least have an enlightened understanding. Michelle promoted through various positions, including Office Assistant 3, Department Specialist 3, Probation Aide, and Probation Technician while working at the Probation Department. But she's now ours. Leonard, stay away. In October 21, we were blessed to have her join our team as Personnel Assistant 1. Michelle is such a wonderful, genuine person. She is the face of HR when individuals come to us seeking assistance. They are met with someone who provides the best customer service. She greets everyone with a smile and provides the appropriate assistance. If she doesn't know the answer to a question, she seeks the information on behalf of the employees. Anyone who knows Michelle knows that she loves her family and cats, which is why we all have our ears on today, even though she's allergic. During Christmas, I think she has a different sweater for every day of the month, and every single one has a cat on it. She also likes to go to WonderCon and she is a proud patriot who served her country in the Army prior to coming to work for the county. Michelle is a kind-hearted person who we value tremendously. Michelle, congratulations on 25 years with the county. Your dedication to the county, the departments, and our employees is top-notch, and we love having you as part of the HR team. Oh, I guess so.
Okay.
Everybody.
Get the whole department.
You guys are-
Meow, calling all cats.
Why ain't you? Now we're gonna get the whole. Yeah.
Oh, man, you better stand on a chair.
Right, got everybody? Okay, we need it. Hold on. Oh, there we go, we're good. Got it? Oh. Let's have the podium in there. Hold on, here we go. That should be good.
All right, so the next department we have is probation department. For 5 years, we have Anthony Barrera. Also for 5 years, Bianca Chavez. 5 years, Lauren Evans. 5 years, Nancy Moreno. The suspense was killing me. 5 years, Hernan Torres. Okay, so moving on to 10 years, we have Mandeep Bangu.
Congratulations. Good job.
Also for 10 years, we have Renee Kuchenbaker. 10 years, Eloisa Luna. 10 years, Myra Morales. 10 years, Virginia Reyes. All right, so for 15 years, we have Manuel Baez. 15 years, Jody Huddleston. 15 years, Rafaela Pina. And 15 years, Stacy Soleil. I hope I said that right, Carly.
I see your mom in the back and I'm glad she's here for you and not for me.
All right, so moving to 20 years, we have Valerie Lopez. "25 years, we have Valentin Fernandez. And also for 25 years, we have Kathy Rodriguez. And then we will be speaking in time.
Morning. In defense of all the probation staff, I have a lot of people in court. I have a lot of people working in the juvenile hall who couldn't make it here today. So this is a great day celebrating all the staff from probation. A little bit about Kathy. Kathy started her career in 1997 as a student intern volunteer with probation, juvenile hall, and as well as the probation department. In 1998, she was hired as a group supervisor. He's promoted her, was promoted up through the ranks of juvenile corrections officer 4 during her career there at the juvenile center and also the boot camp and female treatment center program. In 2008, Due to facility closures, Kathy was transferred to probation department as a deputy probation officer. During that time, she's held a variety of adult and juvenile positions. She's currently the deputy probation officer 3 or lead officer in charge of our favor unit, facilitating accountability victim offender restoration. Kathy's an asset to our department, and we appreciate her very much.
Show me your ankle bracelet.
Cut it off.
What's going on? Yeah. You want a picture? I offered.
It's good. All right, so the next department is Information Technology Department. We have 5 years, Jeffrey Pennant. Mm. 10 years, Daniel Scarborough. 10 years, Sean Wesley. 15 years, Trinidad Aguiniga. 15 years, Jason Patrick.
They must not have got the email.
20 years, Leobardo Solorio. And 25 years, Lisa Carrillo. All right, so the next department is Public Guardian Veteran Services, and we have Cody Pennington for 10 years.
So you got to talk about yourself.
All right, so the last department is Public Works. We have Randy Horner, 5 years. Justin Parolini, 5 years. Matthew Ragsdale, 5 years. 15 years, we have Fernando Gomez. 15 years, James Henderson, AKA Jim. 15 years, Michael Hoggard. 15 years, Angela Valenzuela. And 25 years, Raymond Tabarez. And that concludes the service awards for today.
Yeah. I thought you were getting something, Jamie. No?
He's here to represent.
Uh-huh.
Thought
Well,
you were
thank-
selling tickets.
Thank you for all those who attended today, and for those who didn't, we congratulate you as well, so appreciate that. At this time, I'd like to talk about our Halloween contest. We had 14 areas we had to go to. It wasn't departments, because some department has more than one.
16.
One person. 15?
16.
No, there were 14.
We'll have an audit later.
16?
We had a lot.
We had about 3 hours worth of judging yesterday, and it was great. I was impressed with all the creativity and imagination of our staff. It was a very difficult decision to pick a winner. We deliberated for a couple, 15 minutes or so. And we were all full. We were bribed pretty well. I don't know. I didn't check my sugar, but I'm sure it was pretty high.
3,000 calories worth.
Oh, my God. Whoever made the Oreo cake pops was the winner.
And the pumpkin bread.
I still have, my desk is full, so we'll snack on that throughout the week. But it was a difficult decision, and we decided this year we're going to have two winners. It was decided by one vote, and the creativity on both departments was awesome. Completely different scale. The first winner we're gonna announce is going to be Public Works, and
CDA. CDA.
I'm sorry.
It's the sugar. It's the sugar.
Chuck,
Community
sorry about
development.
that, Chuck. Community Development Agency, and sorry, Public Works.
For nothing, they just.
It's all that sugar, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, their theme was Back to the Future, and if you went there and saw it, there's a lot of creativity. Every little detail on the walls, outside, inside, the car they built was top notch. Very, very good job, and I appreciate all the efforts. So if who's going to come up for community development?
Hey!
Can we have all the CDA employees come up?
All right.
And we have the milk can.
Take this or we're splitting it.
One department gets a lid, the other department gets a can.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, we had a very creative theme in community development, and but on the other side, we had another office that was very spooky, very dark, kind of gave you chills when you walked in. A lot of detail. Everybody in the office participated, just like community development, and that would be human resources. So we have a trophy being made right now. It'll be here in a week,
By the end of the week.
end of the week. So if you come up, we'll take a picture with this one here. So
I get that feeling all the time visiting human resources. I don't understand what was different yesterday.
good job. Who wants to hold the can?
Nelly.
Did you guys have a chance to go see the?
I think they had 3 workers' comp claims coming out of that presentation.
It was a little stressful, so a lot of stress.
Yeah, a lot of stress.
So I want to take this time and thank all the departments that participated. It's amazing that the creativity that comes out of people's heads, and I know it had to take you longer than a month or two to plan for that. So thank you for participating, and look forward to next year.
Hey.
Community development is going to have their setup for the entire week. So employees who want to come by and visit it, they can feel free to do so. We'll send an email out this afternoon.
So they have ice cream and
They aren't going to have the food, but they are going to have the props.
I was there yesterday and I had the hamburger, but then I didn't get the popcorn, so I had to go back yesterday about 4:30 to have the popcorn and milkshake. So yeah, it was good. But that always helps with a score. So. And. All right, we'll get back to business now. So thank you all. I appreciate it. If you want to leave now, we won't dock you for that. So thank you for coming.
Thanks. Good job. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on now to approval of the minutes, report out of closed session from the regular meeting on October 24th, 2023.
Schedule.
Actually, Chairman, if I could just notice for the record that I have no,
I should have had that written down, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
see, I
okay.
only do this once in a while, so We'll go ahead and we'll go back to unscheduled appearances.
I have no written correspondence. It doesn't appear anyone online has their hand raised and no one filled out.
Does anybody online have their hand raised or would like to speak at this time? Nobody, anybody in the audience have anything to say? It's Halloween, you can say whatever you want. No,
Maybe.
nothing?
I shouldn't have said anything, man.
I was doing good, man. All right, so now we're going to go ahead to approval of the minutes, back to report out of closed session from the regular meeting on October 24th.
There's nothing to report today.
Nothing to report. Okay, so we'll go now to item B, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on October 24th.
So moved.
Moved by
Second, Mr.
Supervisor
Chair.
Fagundes, seconded by Supervisor Neves. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, 4 in favor, 1 absent. That is approved, been approved. We'll move on now to the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar listed as one item or one motion. If you would like to pull one out, you can.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Moved by Supervisor Fagundes, second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, 4 in favor, 1 absent. We have approved the consent calendar as presented. And now we'll move on to the regular agenda items. And the first item on the agenda is the Behavioral Health Department. And Christie, good morning. Superwoman, Superman,
Captain America.
Captain America. See,
I was not going to correct.
you know how hard it was to go to these contests of a judging deal yesterday? And I don't even know what theme is on. It was pretty cool, but I've never seen it before because I don't have little kids.
I had a Big Bird costume that I normally wear, and I was like, oh, right at the last minute, decided not to wear it, and I'm really glad I didn't. 'Cause I don't
Well, I know
think
who
anybody
Big Bird
else-
is. I was my era.
Yeah. I was too scared I'd be in the Hanford Sentinel as Big Bird was presenting on NTP programs. Okay, so good morning. Happy Halloween. Supervisors, Christy Lepke, Deputy Director with Kings County Behavioral Health. I am before your board this morning to request approval for 4 items on the regular agenda. The first item is to request your approval for an agreement with Kingsview for the Narcotics Treatment Program, also referred to as NTP services. Kingsview, as well as other providers throughout the state, provide NTP services in various counties for which Medi-Cal beneficiaries can seek out, go to, and receive treatment for narcotics addiction from any of these various providers. This particular Kingsview NTP program is in the city of Tulare. A Medi-Cal beneficiary is not required to go to an NTP provider within their county of residence. However, the beneficiary's county of residence is financially responsible for all drug Medi-Cal covered services provided to that beneficiary by a state-certified NTP provider, such as Kingsview NTP programs. Per Kings County's drug Medi-Cal contract with the Department of Healthcare Services, the county shall accept claims for or from any drug Medi-Cal enrolled provider, regardless of the location of the provider, for any covered services provided to beneficiaries residing in that county. The county shall reimburse the provider through a contract or other agreement. So this agreement before your board serves as that ability to reimburse. The department has previously held an agreement number 21083, with Kingsview NTP programs and was undergoing renewal negotiations, which experienced a delay due to the new CalAIM payment reform standards and rates. I respectfully request your board's approval of this agreement today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? So my question would be, so we have this agreement to work with other counties to treat their residents, and they have an agreement to treat our residents as well?
Yeah, so that sort of, so drug Medi-Cal services are called a open network. They're not a closed network, so you don't have to stay within your county of jurisdiction. So at this point, when we talk about it, we talk about wherever somebody is, whenever they need substance use disorder treatment, wherever their feet are, they can get services. It doesn't matter if they're in their county, if they're traveling on vacation, or transient, maybe they're homeless, they can receive services. But their county of residence is then financially responsible to cover those services. Most of our beneficiaries, Medi-Cal beneficiaries, receive their services here in the county because we have a robust system of care, but we don't have any NTP providers in the county as of yet. And so if anybody needs NTP services, they need to go to usually the surrounding counties, which is Fresno and Tulare County is most popular that they go to, which is Kingsview, Aegis, Baymark, Bart, other things, other services like that. And so we have agreements with these NTP providers. Sometimes we don't know to have an agreement with a provider until we look at our out-of-county referral list and we find out a beneficiary has gone to an NTP provider, we receive the claim, then we start the contracting service, or else we'd end up having contracts with NTP providers throughout the state, just in case. So a lot of times you'll see these contracts come after an NTP or beneficiary has started services with that NTP provider.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
Yeah.
So move it, Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
4 in favor, 1 absent, and it's approved as presented. So, yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
get a handle on it soon. So
Thank
we're
you.
going to go to item number 2.
I've got 4. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So the second item I have before your board is the same as the previous agenda item. So the same concept. It's an NTP program. It's the Aegis Treatment Centers, which is a narcotics treatment program as well. So Aegis is another provider of NTP services for which Kings County Medi-Cal beneficiaries receive treatment for narcotics addiction, primarily through Delano and Fresno locations. The agreement before your board serves as the ability to reimburse for those NTP services. The department also has previously held an agreement number 21071 with Aegis, which was undergoing renewal, but also experienced a delay due to the state's new CalAIM payment reform standards and rates. I will say that we received the rates in March from the state for NTP services. And what they do is it's a whole presentation regarding payment reform and its transition of county behavioral health from an actual cost by cost-based reimbursement to now when services are provided, there's rates attached to those services. And that's how you draw down funding is provide service, your rate is then reimbursed and so it's advantageous to ensure that you're serving all those that need services, providing all the services that are medically necessary, and that you're doing it in an effective manner. So individuals aren't languishing kind of in your system or coming back continuously because it wasn't effective. So it's payment reform is meant for a very positive thing. But it is taking all the systems. Of course, it'll take us a year or two probably to figure out all of the ins and outs of this and realize the full intent and effect of it. But it aligns us a lot with what you see in the private medical industry. And that's kind of why when you go to medical providers, you'll see doctors have maybe double bookings all the time. And they also have maybe 15 minutes that they want to see with you, or they say, if you come in for one condition, we can only talk about that one condition. If you bring up something else, we'll want to book you another appointment for that because they're trying to ensure that they're capturing their reimbursements correctly. And so that's really where we're headed to per the state. And so these payment reforms, when we receive the rates, what they do is they say, this is the full rate for your service. And a county, when they're subcontracting those services out, they then need to negotiate with those contract providers to say, this is the part of the rate we maintain, and this is the part of the rate we will pass through to you. So when you provide that service, we as a county have the ability, say, to draw down an entire dollar per 15 minutes for that service that you're providing, and we will pass along 60 cents of that dollar to you. That way we maintain 40 cents of that service to be able to pay for our oversight and administrative functions and training that might be necessary as it comes out. And you then get 60 cents and you're able to then pay for your program and grow your program as needed. So that was a very difficult thing to get our providers comfortable with, knowledgeable about, and then the negotiation started about, well, we want the full rate. Well, you can't have the full rate, we still have to pay for ourselves. So then we start negotiating, how much will the county keep, how much will we pass along, and what will be viable for both systems of care. So that's where you'll hear, I say this only because you'll hear a lot about it impacting our contracts now and kind of over the next year as we do this payment reform negotiation. I believe I have Laura Tafoya, who oversees our fiscal operations, here with me. I believe we were one of the front leading counties in the state to be able to negotiate successfully with NTP providers in a way that does safeguard a positive revenue source for the county, as well as passes along a positive revenue source for the NTP providers. Is this correct, Laura? Yeah, so we're very proud of Laura and her team, the fiscal team.
Well, thank you.
So at this time, I respectfully request your board's approval for this agreement for Aegis Treatment Centers.
Any questions or comments? Motion by Supervisor Robinson, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes. Okay, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to item number 3.
All right. So the third item I have before your board this morning on regular agenda is to request your board's approval for an agreement with the California Department of Healthcare Services for intergovernmental transfer of public funds for both drug Medi-Cal and specialty mental health services. The purpose of these agreements is to allow for counties to create a county fund account with the Department of Healthcare Services and submit payments through an intergovernmental transfer process for a drawdown of federal financial participation. An intergovernmental transfer, referred to as IGT, is the transfer of funds from a public agency to a Medicaid single state agency, commonly referred to as SSA, for the use of non-federal share in claiming federal financial participation, also known as FFP, for specialty mental health services and drug Medi-Cal covered services. Through the state's CalLane Behavioral Health Payment Reform Initiative, counties will move from, as I mentioned, the cost-based reimbursements funded via Certified Public Expenditures, CPE, to fee-for-service reimbursement via these intergovernmental transfers. So this is just one of the mechanisms that we're required to put into place to be able to do the payment reform. And it's quite complicated. Laura did come to be able to help answer any questions that you may have. But really what it is that we send funds up to the state and they hold them for us to then be able to draw down from rates to be able to handle like a county match. And then there's like a shore up and all this good stuff that's happening. It's kind of, they're building the plane as we fly it. So it's evolving as we speak, because one of the prime questions is, will the state always hold this account and these funds? Meaning if we don't draw down all of them, how do we get them back? And so this is that constant question of how it's working out. But at this point, we've been able to work, or the fiscal team and Laura's team has been able to work on making sure that we're only moving up the funds that are necessary for the services that we are getting reimbursed for. So they're not going to be holding onto our funds and then us trying to get those back at some later date. So the agreement before you is a template from the state for which counties must await receipt for processing. The draft agreement was released to counties by the Department of Healthcare Services on July 19th, 2023 for the implementation of the IGT methodology effective July 1, 2023. So I respectfully request your board's approval of these two agreements with the California Department of Healthcare Services, one for an intergovernmental transfer of funding for specialty mental health services for the mental health plan. And then the other is for the intergovernmental transfer of funding for drug Medi-Cal services for our substance use disorder services.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? You guys all understood that? We're gonna have a test later.
I
As
know,
long as it's later.
I know.
Later.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves, second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
4 members have passed it, 1 absent. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 4.
Thank you. So the fourth and last item I have before your board this morning is to request the board's approval of the grant funding agreement with the California Department of Healthcare Services for the implementation of the CalLane Providing Access and Transforming Health Services, also known as the PATH Medi-Cal Justice Involved Pre-Release Initiative. Earlier this year, Kings County Behavioral Health applied for and was awarded by the Department of Healthcare Services funding to assist in the planning and implementation of the County Behavioral Health Agency portion of the PATH Medi-Cal Justice Involved Pre-Release Initiative. This funding assists the department in developing and supporting critical behavioral health linkage pathways for the Medi-Cal beneficiaries exiting the justice system who need community-based outpatient mental health and substance use disorder services. The initial activities required of this grant funding is the development of an implementation plan specifying how the department will work with the justice systems, such as the local jail, and the pathways for those linkages. Such intricacies to work through are data sharing, transportation, when they're exiting to services, medication continuity, as well as NTP services or MAT services will be a part of this. The department is given 180 days to work through and complete that implementation plan, which will then go to the Department of Healthcare Services for review and approval prior to moving into the next phase for implementation. As a note, Kings County Sheriff's Office has also applied for and was awarded for the correctional agency portion of this grant. And Kings County Behavioral Health is working in collaboration with KCSO as both agencies embark on completing their respective implementation plans. And they are here today to be able to present on their grant award. So I respectfully request your board's approval of this grant funding agreement with the California Department of Healthcare Services and the adoption of the budget change, which requires a 4-5 vote.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Sheriff,
you.
would you like to add to that at all, or you're good?
Wanted to take up both items, I would see them the same day.
Okay. All right. If there are any questions or comments from the board?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves. Second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. This is a 4/5 vote.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson,
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
The 4 of us has passed it in favor, 1 absent, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, yeah. Okay, we'll move on now to item B, which is Public Health Department. And so Rosemary, nope, Heather. That's quick. Morning.
Good morning. How are you guys? I'm here to introduce Nicole Fisher. She's a supervising public health nurse at our department to do this item. And we also have somebody from Valley Children's as well.
Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. Nicole Fisher, Public Health. I am honored to stand before you today representing Public Health and to announce November 2023 as National Prematurity Awareness Month in Kings County. Preterm birth is defined as babies born alive before 37 weeks of pregnancy have been completed. A high percentage of babies born prematurely do not survive. We know that in Kings County, 9.28% of babies born between 2019 and 2021 were premature. This is up from 8.98% in the period 2 years prior. The babies that do survive premature birth have a high chance of severe complications throughout their life. Preterm birth prevention begins with a healthy pregnancy, and the Maternal, Child, and Adolescent Health Program at the Kings County Department of Public Health promotes healthy birth outcomes through educational outreach in the community. We provide presentations on preterm birth reduction strategies to the community to provide awareness and help with ideas to promote a healthy pregnancy. We also use social media to increase communication and engagement efforts. The Kings County Department of Public Health is asking the board today to adopt a resolution proclaiming November 2023 as National Prematurity Awareness Month and November 17th, 2023 specifically as World Prematurity Awareness Day. I am also happy to introduce Tim Curley, Director of Community and Government Relations at Valley Children's Healthcare in Madera, who would like to say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, thank you. Again, my name is Tim Curley, and I'm Director of Community and Government Relations at Valley Children's Healthcare. And I want to thank you for considering today's resolution proclaiming November 2023 as National Prematurity Awareness Month and November 17th, 2023 as World Prematurity Day. I also want to recognize the Kings County Public Health Department for bringing this resolution forward and for the incredibly important work it does for the residents of Kings County. I know you know it, but just as a reminder for everybody, your public health department and public health departments across the valley play a really big role in keeping residents healthy and well, and in the process productive at school and at work and in the community. So thanks for your hard work. With respect to this resolution, Valley Children's unfortunately deals every day with the consequences of premature birth. We have a 116-bed neonatal intensive care unit, and that actually includes 6 beds here in Hanford in partnership with Adventist Health Hanford. And through that neonatal intensive care unit, we provide comprehensive healthcare services to thousands of infants each year facing serious challenges for a number of reasons, not the least of which is premature birth. Achieving a meaningful reduction in premature births in Kings County requires a full court press by everybody. Your approval today of this resolution will help raise the public's awareness of premature birth in Kings County, and in the process, hopefully will inspire some type of positive action by someone, even if it's just one pregnant woman deciding to see a doctor for the first time. So again, on behalf of Valley Children's, thanks for your important leadership on this issue and helping to shine a light on it. And we were going to try to get somebody from the Hanford area who had a child serviced at our NICU here. And I just want to double check. I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Nobody showed up. No. Okay. Anyway, didn't want to leave them out. So thanks again for your time. It's good to see all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'll add to your last comment. So 38 years ago tomorrow, my son was born. And it was a mistake made by the hospital and the doctor. They misdiagnosed my wife. I was 21 years old. My wife was 19. My son was born premature. I don't know the weeks, but he was only 1.2 pounds. They rushed him to Valley Children's Hospital when it was in Madera. It was in Fresno on Shield Avenue. And after about 36 hours, he had emergency surgery on his heart. They cut him went through his back to change him from being amphibious to a mammal, right? Where they take so he can breathe oxygen. And he spent 45 days at Valley Children's Hospital. Valley Children's was great. They were on top of it. They were closed. My wife was still in the hospital the next day when I was up there, and the doctor says, why are you here? I said, well, my son was born. He said, I don't understand that, but he goes, we were in a car accident. Were you on drugs? Is something going on? I'm missing here because there's no reason why your son should be here today. So you need to go back and talk to the doctor and find out what happened. So I did. The doctor went through the reports and he said, yeah, there was a mistake made on my end and the hospital's end. But the Valley Children's Hospital was on top of it. 2 point. My son will be 38 years old tomorrow morning. He was below a pound when he was in there. He was in there for 45 days. He had to be 4 pounds when he came home. We had to learn CPR on an infant, and he was in NICU for a long time. One of my best friends from kindergarten to 8th grade, he had his son in there at the same time, and he passed away. A very difficult time for 18-year-old and a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old to be up at a hospital to deal with this. I already had 2 other kids, and it was very traumatic, but Valley Children's was very, very, very concerned and did everything we needed to do to be comfortable, offered us the Ronald McDonald House. We drove, it was only like 30 minutes, but we were up there every day. But it was hard. He was little. I mean, it was just, you can't describe. And he had all the IVs in his hands and his feet. And he survived. He got diagnosed with cerebral palsy after about a year, which was really difficult because he didn't have cerebral palsy. And once we got that off the record, he was able to go and started kindergarten, struggled in school for the first couple of years. I was at a doctor's appointment. I got an accident, and I told the doctor about what my son was having with his issues in school. Took him to a chiropractor. He had a vertebrae out 1 millimeter in his back. Once they got that put back in place, his attention on point, and he went to be honor student, graduated 8th grade honor student, and went to high school, and he knows it all now. He's 38 years old. You need to know how to answer anything. He has it for you, and he can correct your lifestyle, but he did survive, and he did survive because of the professionals at Valley Children's, and I appreciate all the hard work your staff does.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you.
you're welcome. And thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's done well, but he is alive. Yeah, if you need solar, I can send him over to your house. He will get you to sign a paper right in a heartbeat. So,
Yeah.
no, thank you again. I mean, this is really important to the community. I didn't know this existed when I was 19 years old. My wife was younger. I didn't know. When I got over, it didn't really hit me until, he was probably in high school and he got MVP All Valley for sports when he told us he wouldn't play sports because his lungs were never developed. And we were fed a lot of stuff, be concerned about this, be aware of that. So we knew what to expect, but he overcame everything. And to have one of your friends' children die in the same area was really hard to accept because we talked every day. We went in there and then went there one day and they weren't there. And they kind of told us what had happened. And I still see them today. It tore apart they got divorced. They couldn't handle it. It was really hard on them. So,
Right.
if it wasn't for Valley Children's Hospital, I'd have had the same outcome. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
I have one too. Bob Robertson.
Tim, also my thanks to Valley Children's. My youngest brother is 20 years younger than I, and 32 years ago, you saved his life. He was an RH factor baby,
Mhm.
and my dad raised him up to Valley Children's, and you saved him. And he was transferred to UC San Francisco, and he spent many weeks there. My uncle at that time lived in San Francisco, so my uncle would visit him every day, and my parents would go quite frequently. And yeah, we like to tell him he only has partial problems. No, actually, he's done very well. He's a successful business leader, and we're grateful to Valley Children.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for reminding me. You shared that story with me when we met in Fresno, I don't know about that, or a year and a half ago or so. So, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's important to have Valley Children's here the expertise of staff is tremendous. So you
Yeah.
guys do a great job. So
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have, I mean, everybody has an experience with a hospital or doctor, especially in our area. We don't get the cream of the crop here. We have people that really try hard, but the elite people that know the state-of-the-art technology, they don't come to Hanford to finish their career. They go somewhere else. So I'm glad that we have Valley Children because that they attract the top #1 professionals in that field. So thank you.
You bet.
And it's only a 35-minute drive, so
Yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah, and of course, we've got the hospital in Madera, but we're really proud about our partnership with Adventist Health here in Hanford because they have really enabled us to do things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do right here at home in this community as well. So,
Yeah, we had a meeting on Wednesday, and the Caltrans director was a patient of yours for many years. He was a child, an infant in a car accident. And I spoke to the father because he was really having a hard time with his son because they didn't think he was going to make it. And he made a presentation at one of our associated government meetings on Wednesday, and very professional. But we didn't think he was going to make it, but he only made it because of Valley Children's. Thank you.
you bet.
Okay, do we have a motion to support this?
Move to approve the item.
Moved by Supervisor Fagundes, second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Item as approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you again, appreciate it. And move on to the next item, which is our sheriff. Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board. Dave Robinson, Kings County Sheriff. I'm
You
here
need solar?
to,
You need solar? I said, my son would go.
well, wait till I have a conversation with Ari about you.
Yeah.
It's all on recording. I hope you know that.
He understands exactly what we're saying.
I'm gonna say ditto to what Christy said earlier, because it's literally the same item. I'll add a little bit to it. Normally I'd come up here and it's $3.5 million and I'd be jumping for joy going, yes. These are a bit of a challenge because we're going into it kind of the blind leading the blind a little bit and not knowing what this will look like in the long term. What I'm hopeful this will look like is that it will reduce some county expenses and pass that expense on to the state. And we'll actually see some reductions in our medical cost in the county jail. As your board's aware, once somebody comes into the Kings County Jail or any correctional institution, the responsibility and the burden is on the county to pay the expenses. And so it's an opportunity where we're hopeful that some of the services that behavioral health is providing and our medical provider provides in the facility will not only get better and grow, but also reduce some county expenses. So we're optimistic. It goes into effect next year. We're already having some meetings, as Christy mentioned, to kind of put the plan in place. The assistant sheriff back here in the back row is actually taking the lead on this for us. And so we'll see Crystal's, heart and soul has been poured into the jail facility for 30 years. And so if anybody can do it, she can. And so this morning, it's really, I did want to point out a couple of things. So it's a 90-day pre-release eligibility screening, service delivery, re-entry planning and coordination, managed care plan, county behavioral health, and other applicable community support services and oversight and project management, to include billing systems, health record technology, and IT-related services, hiring of staff, and training and development of policies and procedures, obviously in conjunction with Kings County Behavioral Health, but also human services and other county departments are going to be heavily involved in the implementation of it. So this morning, we'd ask your board to accept the grant and authorize the signature of the grant. And there'll be a lot of reporting requirements that we'll be able to report back to the board on how things are going. it's a gap that we've seen over the course of my career where we treat somebody, I think our behavioral health staff for the facility side does an amazing job. And the medical staff do an amazing job taking care of them when they're in our facility. Where the gap occurs is when they walk out the door and we lose sight of them and lose track of them. And so that's the goal here, is to try to close that gap and keep those services going. So that way they are productive members of our society instead of coming back to the jail facility.
Very
Any
good.
questions? I'm glad to have.
Any questions or comments for the sheriff?
So move it, Chair.
Moved by Supervisor Neves, second by Supervisor Fagundes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
item
you.
passes, 4 in
Appreciate it.
favor, 1 absent.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on now to item D, Domingo Cruz. Good morning, Domingo.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good morning. Domingo Cruz, one of your administrative analysts in the administrative office. So the item in front of you is a coordinated effort from the administration, the Veteran Service Office, and Public Works. So we are requesting that your board adopt a resolution in support of Operation Greenlight for veterans from November 6th, 2023 to November 12th, 2023. So the National Association of Counties, the NACO, got behind the Operation Greenlight program, which is an initiative to shine a light on the plight of veterans in counties across the United States who are having a hard time connecting with benefits after serving their country. So this new program was endorsed by the NACO board back in the meeting in July 23rd, 2022 in Adams County, Colorado. So the first time your board adopted a resolution in support of Operation Greenlight was last year, October 25th, 2022, for the period November 7th through November 13th, 2022. There's no impact to the general fund as the materials from 2022 are still reusable. This program will most likely attract current and soon-to-be veterans to seek out Kings County Veterans Services for assistance, which may bring additional millions of dollars to the county in the form of monetary benefits. So the veterans population in the county is approximately 8,500, but only approximately 4,100 are in receipt of Veterans Administration benefits. So in fiscal year 2021-22, veterans in Kings County received $76,472,000 in direct compensation, pension payments, an increase of 24% over the prior fiscal year. So the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women who serve in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by our citizens. Veterans continue to serve our community through numerous veteran service organizations, religious groups, civil service, and by functioning as county veteran service officers in 29 states to help fellow former service members access more than $52 billion in federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. I would like to thank you for all the veterans that are here today. I see one there. I see one there, and one there. If I miss anybody, thank you. So local governments and citizens of Kings County are encouraged to display a green light in a window of their place of business or residence as part of the Operation Green Light for veterans. And also, I forgot any veterans on the interweb. I see one there, Jay Wood is on the line. So the county will be shining green lights to the following buildings or structures. Basically the same ones as last year with one addition though. So the street lights on Mater Drive, the Government Center sign on Lacey Boulevard, the Veterans Memorial Wall in Kings County Government Center courtyard, and all the courtyard lights that we have there. Also the flagpole in front of the administration, the board administrator, supervisors building. And of course, the front of the administration and board supervisor building. Also the human resources and the assessor clerk recorder facing Lacey Boulevard and the old court building close to the Senate courtyard. So the addition this year, the old hospital building facing Lacey Boulevard. Again, the new renovated Kings building. There will be a total of 31 windows that will be lit on the Kings building. Lastly, a press release will be sent out by the Kings County Public Information Officer today after you board adopt the resolution. So that concludes my presentation, and barring any question, staff respectfully request that your board adopt a resolution in support of Operation Greenlight for veterans from November 6, 2023 to November 12, 2023, to salute and honor the service and sacrifices of our veterans and the men and women in uniform transitioning from active duty service. Also, in addition, Jamie and his crew will be setting up on Monday next week, 5:30. If you happen to be driving, the whole place will be lit in green. Thank you.
Thank you, Dom. And the only thing I would add is contact Corcoran in light of the Veteran Memorial that we have down there as well.
Okay,
I would
we'll do
assume, I
that.
would assume they know about it, but I would make a phone call to them. I don't know who you call. You call the administration of Corcoran and make sure they understand it needs to be in green light. We didn't have that there last year, so they might miss it. So just so they don't miss it, they can have that lit up as well.
Will do.
And then I want to thank Public Works Department. I know last year there was a last minute deal and they worked overtime to get that done. So thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it. Means a lot. I mean, I came by here, it was pretty impressive.
I can share you some pictures if you want.
If you want to show us a picture, that'd be great. Yeah. You got the magic touch. IT didn't show up for their awards, but I'm sure you can handle it.
They're working. Poor guy's working.
Let me see.
Yeah, I know Supervisor Peterson was at the NACO convention when they talked about the green light and we voted on it there in Colorado. So from the time we voted on it in July to the time we got it up and running, it was a lot of work by Public Works to get that done. I appreciate all their help. And if anybody would like to show a green light in their own house and support the veterans, that'd be welcome as well.
So, well, he's getting that loaded.
Okay, while he's getting that loaded, do we have a motion?
Well,
Oh, you have a comment?
yeah,
Sorry.
no, yeah, I think I still have my green light up from last year, so I'll make sure it's up during that time period.
It's got Easter still up at your house, man.
We rectified it. We
Valentine's Day.
rectified that
All right.
after you complained last time. And then the other thing is just a question. So are we having better outreach? I mean, 24% in a year for the increase in the compensation, the pension payments, that's pretty good increase.
Good morning, Supervisors. Cody Pennington, Deputy Veteran Service Officer. So when it comes to the Operation Greenlight, we're kind of the front-running county in the Central Valley. We did this last year. We were one of the only ones to do it. I know that some of our counterparts in other counties are looking to start trying to do it now that we came out with such a huge response last year. They're still not where we are. They're doing, you know, a couple little lights here and there. They're not setting up their entire county complex like we are. So the support that the veteran community is getting from you guys it's noticeable and we appreciate it very much. We are trying to do more outreach. We used to do outreach a lot prior to COVID. COVID shut almost everything down. We are fully staffed now on our veteran side and we are trying to get back out in the community. So I think that that's helping. I think the green light always helps because there's a lot of people that don't know where we're at. We're so far back in the county complex that they see the memorial and they think you're there. And so we kind of have to walk them through to get to where we are. So the green light does help. It is a week, but it makes a difference.
No, very, very good. Thank you.
Oh, I guess you cannot see that. So anyway, there will be also a sign here and also here by the memorial wall telling the public when they come into the government center that this is what we're doing. And there is a link that they can go and type up and see what's going on there.
So can we put our pictures on that link? Can you add to that link on NACO's website?
We can, what we're gonna do is that, after this, when the PIO release,
Okay.
the press release, I'm gonna upload our, PowerPoint. It's like what we did last year, and also the resolution, and also the press release.
Yeah, I forgot we had, yeah, that's good.
So they will have a copy of it.
Very good.
So we don't have the picture of the King's building here, but also the face will be. And then the courtyard, the assessor, human resource, and also that old court building right here. And also the old courtyard right there will be lit and green. So this is coming in, driving into Mater Drive. All those lights, these lights will be, and these lights will be lit in green also. This is what it looks like last year in the flagpole. Oh, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dom. Look forward to
And
next week.
Lastly, thank you for the CAO, Kyria, for letting us do this.
Thank you, Kyria. We
Actually,
overpower you anyway.
my predecessor was the one who started
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Okay, any question or comments? Moved by Supervisor Fagundes. Second by Supervisor Robinson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay, 4 members have passed it, and thank you, Dom, and thank you, Scott. I know Scott's not here today, so I know he has a little bit to play in it, and thank you to Public Works as well. I know they have to work extra to get this done. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, we'll move on now to administration, and looks like we have Matthew.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board. Matthew Boyette, Deputy County Administrative Officer for Kings County Administration. So before your board this morning is a proposed telework policy here for the county, which aims to improve employee morale and retention, as well as promote administrative efficiencies, as well as enhance recruitment efforts, all through reimagining what we think of as the traditional work locations for our current county employees. So from March 2020 to April 2021, a substantial portion of the county actually operated remotely due to the mitigating efforts of COVID-19. And with that, the departments that did so adapted very well. They were very strategic and developed innovative business processes to continue to deliver the quality services to our constituents while working remotely. And as such, staff have since obviously returned back to work full-time, with the exception of 4 departments that have actually continued to test a pilot teleworking program. And so those departments are Child Support Services, County Council, Assessor Clerk Recorder, and the District Attorney's Office. So those pilots to date have been successful. And so we are proposing to actually roll out teleworking countywide as such. So among other things, right, the pandemic accelerated the employment trend of flexible work schedules and teleworking capabilities. And nowadays, many candidates, they don't even consider working for an employer if they don't allow such benefits as teleworking and flexible work schedules. And many of our surrounding local government agencies have kind of embraced that and realized this fact and have implemented teleworking capabilities in their own respective organizations on either a full-time or part-time basis. And we kind of compete for the same pool of candidates with those other agencies. So it really creates recruitment challenges for us when we don't have the teleworking policy that a lot of our other, for lack of a better term, competitors do. So in fact, what we've come to see recently is many choice candidates have actually dropped out of recruitments because they realize that we don't offer teleworking to our employees right now. So this could really help broaden our employee pool as well as retain the quality employees that we do have. So, you know, the employees have come to value teleworking for many reasons. But just, you know, one of the reasons here is it kind of helps reduce the stress, time, and cost of commuting. And depending on where, you know, we have some folks traveling from, whether that's from Fresno, Madera, Kern, Porterville, or whatever, throughout the course of a week and throughout the course of a month or even the course of a year, that time can really add up to a really substantial benefit for our employees. So as such, that can also lead to productivity increases in those employees. So it's not only a benefit for the employee, but with the increased productivity factor, that's also a benefit to our constituents as well. So under this proposed telework policy, teleworking will be permitted for up to 2 days a week. And that will be at the discretion of each respective department head within the county. And participation within the telework policy is voluntary. So it's not mandatory. If the employee wants to still operate within their traditional work location here on campus or their current office location, that is still okay. If approved today, this telework policy will supersede any current pilot teleworking policies that have been implemented. So if approved today, we will go ahead and evaluate this policy in the spring of 2024 and kind of see how it's been working. Department heads and unions have all been given a copy of this telework policy, and they have all been given the opportunity to provide comment and feedback as such. So administration, human resources, and the information technology department, we believe that this proposed policy best positions the county to compete for the talent, not only in our direct proximity, but kind of broadening our horizon as well. And it actually also cultivates a positive and accountable and supportive work environment. So that concludes my portion of this presentation. We'll bring it back for questions later, but at this time, I would like to bring up Marie from Child Support to kind of give her testimony on the successes that she has seen in her department, as they have been one of the 4 departments that have continued teleworking on a pilot basis since coming back from the pandemic. So, Marie?
Good morning, Marie
morning.
Waite, Director of Child Support Services. And yes, the pros on teleworking are transportation. It reduces time and money, increased productivity, less distractions. It's an employee option. Like, it really just shows our employees that we care. We're not mandating this on them. They get to pick this. And it promotes a healthy work-life balance. I've seen firsthand, it really has helped with retention of talent. Currently, right now in my office, I have 72.3% of my staff opting to telework. All of them are opting for the 2 days. The 1 day is available. And then in the last year, so our pilot began on July 11th. So when we look back for the last year of productivity, we've increased 15% on the number of cases we've worked. Annually, I do an employee morale survey, and 84% of my staff ranked teleworking from a 1 to a 5, a 5. It is their highest value is teleworking currently, as well as flex time. And then this is statements that my employees have said regarding telework on the annual survey. I feel like teleworking really boosts customer service. I'm able to quickly address voicemails and customer service tasks with less distractions and interruptions. Not only do I feel it is good for customer service, but I feel I'm able to get so much more work done at home. The more cases I'm able to work in a day equals more people I can help. It boosts morale, saves time, gas, money. I'm amazed how much work I can get done on telework days. I love fielding questions from coworkers. However, I do it less on telework days and can really get in the groove and focus. I can control my environment, such as temperature and noise. Temperature really is a thing in the office, and lights. Teleworking has made my work and home life easier to handle. I make all appointments on days I telework, and has made me a happier employee, knowing I'm able to save gas and stay home working 2 days out of the week. Another comment, being able to work in the comfort of my own home has been so beneficial to me. With a busy schedule, I'm able to save time on commuting and use it towards spending a little extra time with my children before and after they go to the babysitter. Being able to enjoy that little extra time with my children in the morning sets a good mood for the start of not only my day, but theirs as well. Throughout my day, I'm able to work with no distractions and produce an abundance of great quality work and customer service. I'm able to clock out feeling accomplished. If telework was no longer an option, I would 100% seek employment elsewhere. Last statement, increased my personal level of employee morale, made me feel retainable, allowed quiet time to work with fewer distractions, saved money on gas, work clothes, lunches out, increased my availability to my family and my other commitments due to no travel time to the office, which is a savings of time before and after work. Telework has been a great benefit to child support services. This is something that is being done all throughout the state. I will say our state director resides in Tulare County. That's how profound this is. They've reduced many buildings, and this is really the way of the program for child support. However, we are under King's umbrella, and I am very, very grateful that you guys have allowed us to work this pilot this last year. I know HR and admin, we worked a lot on these policies, and I really do think this would be a great benefit for all of Kings County employees to be able to be given that opportunity under discretion of a department head. We know what's best for our employees. You've appointed us to be in these positions. So I really do believe that this is in the best interest for the county to move this direction as an opportunity to see if it can help with retaining and attracting talent. I'm here for any questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Any questions or comments? Supervisor Robinson.
I think as a past employer, I think prior to these pilot programs, I would have been opposed. But I think with the success of it, I think now it's necessary, particularly for recruitment and retention. It's just become the way of the future. So I'm glad it worked out well for your department and the other departments that participated. So I'm supportive. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have to add, one of a former employee just retired after 20 years, sad to lose her. When we were announcing the pilot last year, like she stood up and clapped almost the loudest. And I'm like, you don't even telework. Why are you doing this? And she's like, it's so quiet. I love when they leave. So even those that opt to stay in the office, like it changes the workflow. And with having 2 days an option for my department, it makes a mandatory day that we're all there together. So we're still making sure cohesiveness and collaboration and communication is happening. But yeah, there's pluses for even those that opt to stay in the office full time.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Moved by Supervisor Fagundes. Second by Supervisor Neves, and I have a comment as well. I'll echo Supervisor Robinson's comment. You know, a couple of years ago, I would not have thought about this at all. But at the same time, I think back about 1993 when I went to a convention on a school board, and they were showing me this thing called the internet. And, you know, things have evolved in our time to make our work easier and work with our constituents, work with our staff. And I think it's time to move forward. And I think it's a great opportunity to be attractive to other people to come work here when they have opportunities to change their way of working, 2 days of work. And not everybody can do it. Only some can do it. If we just saw with the behavioral health department, you know, a lot of that stuff can be done at home on a computer. As long as IT can handle it and administration can handle it and the director can handle it, I support it as well. I would like to add one more. It's not on the agenda, but I'd like to make a comment to the staff that the people that do come to work, we have, you know, free electricity with all the solar. I would like to see free charging station for the people that drive hybrid or electric cars on our campus too, to help those that come to work every day. You know, if you had, I know we had an employee in our office and she said if she could charge her car here, she would never have to pay for gas because she had enough charging to get here, but she had to use the gas to get home. So if we can offset that in the future, that'd be something we could do with the charging station. Maybe take a survey of how many electric vehicles we have in the county on the complex and see what it's going to take to get that done. So with that, I'll do a roll call. Madam Clerk?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Doug Verboon,
Yes.
Rusty Robinson.
Yes.
Richard Fagundes.
Yes.
Okay. 4 in
Thank you.
favor, 1 absent. Thank you. And thank you, Maria, for your comment. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll go on now to board member correspondence. Anything you'd like to say, Supervisor Robinson?
Light week for me. Saturday, we got crushed at soccer. And as a consolation prize, we bought a puppy. I don't know how that's working out. Every 2 or 3 hours we're up. And then thankfully on Monday, I had the pleasure with the other supervisors of judging the spirited costumes and decorating for Halloween. So love to see the participation. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Fagundes?
We had the housing authority last week and the judging with yesterday was great with all the participants we had. You know, they did a heck of a job. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Supervisor Neves?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Continue to be engaged with the Tulare Lake, went all the way down to 19th and Pueblo, which is pretty dry now. And in fact, there were a few tractors down there working. And so if you have not had a chance to go through, you might have to go around the barricades, but at least you're not going to get wet. But I wouldn't suggest getting off of the pavement. because it is, the soil is still saturated. But there is some work going on, dragging the roads, and it looks like they're a couple of weeks away from getting back into those fields. The Kings County Public Transit Agency had a meeting on the October 25th. Action was taken to combine the November, December meetings to December 6th, and that was across the board with LAFCO, CART, and the Association of Governments. We also awarded the bid to the new transit center to Queen General LLC, the amount of a little over $29 million. It's about an 18-month build time, which in government time probably means 24 months. So we'll see when that the ground gets broken and there's some sticks in the air. We also approved the agreement with Southern California Edison exactly for those charging stations. It is a part of the future as well. And so they have a charge ready program that they'll also be added in. Starting tomorrow, the new computer aided dispatch will be switching over to Connex. The staff has done a tremendous amount of outreach and assistance to riders as they transform over to that new dispatch system. And then the Kings County Association of Governments also had a meeting on the 25th. We started out with a public hearing on the 2024 Regional Transportation Improvement Program. And that will come back for a later date. That was just the public hearing part of it. An amendment to the 23-24 overall work program in the Federal Transportation Act 5310 regional priority list was also approved. And SB 125 providing funding for transit activities in both CACAPTA and the Corcoran Area Transit Agencies. And then we also received the report back from the San Joaquin Valley Voice Trip that was held in September. Thank Supervisor Verboon for making that trip. Did some announcing for West Hills College when the Reedley Tigers came to Lemoore. Attended the Crisis Leadership course on Thursday morning. It's a 4-hour course with also some required reading and a pretest prior to the training. And also want to thank Abe and his family providing a wonderful taco lunch. It was with all the fixins. And so, Chief, if you can please thank him for everyone that attended, and everyone got fed, and it was a darn good lunch. Wrapped up the regular football season at Lemoore High, and playoffs begin this week on Friday. And so we'll see how that goes. I want to thank staff for putting together that Fresno State game. There was a good Kings County contingency, and Erica, how many people? There were how many tickets? And
over 500.
yeah, just amazing. I want to thank finance for handling the logistics part of the tickets and the money and everything going on. So thank you for that, and thank all the employees that attended. And it turned out to be a wonderful game, homecoming, a lot of activities, a lot of fun, and certainly thank you for doing that. And then on Sunday, attended the Sons of Italy spaghetti drive-through dinner. It's not as much fun when you used to go in there and buy the cakes and the pastries and everything else, but at least you got good spaghetti and good sauce and good meatballs. So I'm still eating spaghetti. So
does it have a little bit of chili flake on it?
Correct. Oh yeah, no. It's So with that, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I can't really add anything to that as well, so I'll move it over to upcoming events.
So for board correspondence, the board received a correspondence for Kings River Conservation District dated October 24th regarding the letter of gratitude water year for 22-23. The board also received a quarterly portfolio compliance report dated October 24th from our Director of Finance. And lastly, the board received a notice of Planning Commission meeting and public workshop for the proposed 24 through 32 general plan housing element and fair housing analysis for November 6th. We also advertised that through our social media platforms. For upcoming event, the South Valley Battle of Badges Drive will be next week, Tuesday, November 7th through Thursday, November 9th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Old Sheriff Parking Lot here in a government center. They'll also be doing flu shots there. Those who participated in last blood drive on September 7th are eligible to participate. This is open to the public. The 10th annual Lemoore Veterans Day Parade is happening November 11th at 6 p.m. downtown Lemoore. And the 11th Annual Veterans Day Festival will be on the same day, November 11th, from 10 to 4 at the Hanford Civic Park. The Avenel Rotary Club, together with the Central California Food Bank, will be distributing food on November 14th from 10 to 12 through the Avenel Community Center parking lot. And lastly, the Kings County Human Services Agency is organizing the annual Foster Children's Christmas Toy Drives. There's a lot of children that are in foster care that do not get any Christmas presents. So we do put out an email to all county employees. If you would like to participate in donating gift this year, please contact HSA. We are working with our PIO to do an outreach for that event. For upcoming agenda items, the following agenda items are for November 7th. Admin has 2 claim for damages in the Avenel Courthouse purchase sale agreement. Behavioral health item regarding a vehicle exemption request. CDA has some items regarding public hearings. DA has an item for an application for elder abuse program, and fire has a item purchasing a fire permit software system. Health has a few regarding the Kings County Homeless Collaborative bylaws. Human Resources continues their service award presentation and a revision of the Chapter 6 personnel rules. HSA has an item regarding the National Adoption Month proclamation, and Public Works has some items regarding a Serenity Guarding dedication and resolution authorizing a loan for parks equipment. And Sheriff has 2 items regarding a communications system analyzed purchase and a purchase of a concrete box. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on now in a closed session. We have several items. And before we adjourn, Supervisor Valley will be getting married this weekend, so we want to wish him all the best and happiness in his new adventure with his wife. So thank you. Meeting is adjourned.